The new eFootball version 5.2 has changed the gameplay quite a bit, resulting in some players now fitting better and others fitting worse into the gameplay. Here comes Pepe. Welcome everybody! Today we will look at some players that are better now and also some that didn't benefit from the update. There are obviously a lot more players than in the video, so feel free to add your choices in the comments. Before we get to the players, let's look what actually changed to understand the impact of patch 5.2. Basically, they made slower players a bit faster. Thanks to amadeusz's amazing work, we can even see by how much. Players from 80 to 89 speed had a really small increase. Players below that a slightly bigger increase. 90 and above remains the same. Honestly, this change alone would be trivial, but this is only speed, we don't have any data on acceleration. Another change is that acceleration does not decrease as much anymore from low stamina. I don't think that's a massive change either. Most games are decided way before the stamina effects kick in, and in some playstyles, you rarely ever get below 50% for your defenders anyway. It might help free to play more though, so why not? Another change, after a through ball, the defending player is gonna defend properly even if the user inputs a different direction. This basically just helps people that would drag their defender away, not anticipating that they're already controlling him. Not sure if I like it because we already have enough hand holding, but whatever. The biggest change might be this. Defensive awareness now increases acceleration when marking an opponent. Strikers have this for offensive awareness for offensive runs already, with 90 being the breakpoint. This is actually what could have the biggest impact towards making through ball spam harder, especially for less experienced individuals. I think it can be a great change. All in all, they want to nerf blunt through ball spamming, which honestly is a very good intention. Now, which players benefit from these changes? Number one is this player here. That's the cross from Saka, but Van Buiten clears it. Van Buiten demonstrating his physical presence. That's De Bruyne dangerous, but Van Buiten with a crucial slide. Daniel Van Buiten. A great defender, excellent defensive stats, aerially amazing, incredible player model, but not too fast. If you need him less balanced and more of an anti-aerial threat, go for more aerial. This update was extremely good for him. His big problem, especially in high defensive lines, was that despite having solid 84 acceleration, his speed of 80 would make him prone to long through balls, where fast strikers like Rummenigge, Owen or Mbappe would completely outrun him. He has 95 defensive awareness, meaning that now he will benefit a lot from the extra defensive acceleration as well as from reacting to through balls, making it a lot harder to just run past him. Number two is a player that didn't benefit from the update. Kieran Tierney. Applying the reverse logic now, Tierney is probably a bit less useful now than before the update. With only 84 defensive awareness, he will get less of an acceleration boost compared to other defenders. On top of that, with his crazy 88 lofted pass, he was also really good at doing long lofted through balls, which aren't as great anymore due to the defense being buffed. Number 3 suffers from the same fate, Theo Hernandez. He's also an extremely fast player made for covering high defensive lines, but compared to the best defenders, his defensive awareness is a bit lackluster. Lower defensive awareness already inherently makes you more likely to be out of position anyway, making this even worse. We'll see in the long run whether their great acceleration will be able to make up for it. Number 4 is this player here, Destroyer Vieira, and specifically only the Destroyer. He has always been amazing, but the version 5 speed curve update hurt him a little bit. I'll show you why. This is Vieira. Look how the opposing player runs past him and Vieira takes a while to respond. At this point, it's kinda over. He won't ever catch up. If defensive awareness allows players to accelerate faster, this might make situations like these less likely, which is good for him. Also, the new speed curve is a tiny bit less harsh on players below 90 speed. You could modify this Vieira's build a little to get more speed if you're willing to miss out on other things, but realistically, you wouldn't get more than 87, which I don't think would have prevented this situation in the old update either. Since he has respectable defensive awareness, this update could help him stick to players better to compensate for his speed. Number 5 is a popular defender, Tony Adams. Being like a similar player type as Van Buiten, as in slow, bulky defender with high defensive stats, pretty much everything that goes for Van Buiten goes for Tony Adams as well. He should also be better after this update, having 95 defensive awareness to compensate for his suboptimal acceleration and speed. Number 6 is this player here. Costa Curta. Costa Curta! Everybody's darling in defense. Unlike Tony Adams or Van Buiten, he at least has so many progression points that you could reasonably get way closer to 90 speed than they could. However, Costa Curta's acceleration is still far away from 90, meaning that he was also definitely not the best defending against long through balls. With great defensive awareness, this update should help him a lot, just like the others. That's Makai with a lot of space on the left side. Beautiful feint, cuts inside. Still Makai. Roy Makai. Brilliant lofted through ball. Suboptimal first touch, but Hulit fights for it. Makai cut behind and turn past 1, past 2. Roy Makai! Yes, it's him. He's a pretty unique and interesting case. The build you see here is the one I used when he came out, which was way before the 5.0 speed curve update. His niche was being a fantastic finisher, capable in the air, physically respectable with a great weak foot, and also not too slow. Then the version 5 update hit, and long through balls became extremely powerful. This was really bad for him, because with 84 speed, he was way too far from the 90 breakpoint for speed, at which you would start getting diminishing returns. So I switched to this build, which made him better in general gameplay because through balls were the easiest tool to use, but he kinda lost his niche. Like Rummenigge would do almost everything that he does, just strictly better. Now, after this update with through balls being less powerful and therefore other ways of creating chances being more important, top speed isn't as crucial anymore. Meaning this build here is possible, which puts him back in his niche, except for the physical part. I haven't tried yet, but maybe the initial build could also work out. But yeah, making players below 90 speed a bit faster and the game being less about long through balls is really great for Makai, regardless of what build you prefer. You could also stay with the speedy one. Number 8 is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He's also an interesting case. Most people were like, he won't be a top tier meta card because the majority of people rely on great speed and through balls. And players like Rummenigge, Shevchenko, Eto'o and so on just greatly outpace Ibra, despite Zlatan being able to comfortably reach 90 in both speed and acceleration. While that isn't wrong, I still think he is an amazing player. And obviously, if the game makes it harder to succeed with through balls, that's great for Zlatan because he's extremely good at all the other things. If you wonder why I'd go up to 96 finishing here, which is quite high, that's because he doesn't have maximum weak foot proficiency. And if you do the math, 96 with high is about the same as 91 with very high. It's absolutely fine to remove 3 points in shooting and add them wherever else you prefer though. Number 9 has been mentioned twice already. That's a great through ball by Vieira. Rummenigge gets ahead. Fools both. Scores! Karl-Heinz Rummenigge. He is absolutely terrible now after the update and should really never be used again. No, just kidding. As a matter of fact, he is exactly the same player as before the update. Same pace, same everything. So, shocking news, he will still be one of the best, if not the best striker in the game. But I would argue this update didn't benefit him, because he was one of the best players ever to exploit these easy long through balls into space. Less easy long through balls, less easy chances for Rummenigge, right? He's still amazing. Number 10 is Daily Game Rijkaard. No matter if you prefer him as a center back like this build here or as a defensive midfielder, Rijkaard should benefit from this update. It's pretty much the same as Tony Adams, except that Rijkaard could optimize his build towards speed a lot better. So yeah, the defensive buff in relation to defensive awareness will definitely make this Rijkaard better. Number 11 is this player here. Player of the Week Van Dijk. Good defensive stats, especially defensive awareness, decent speed, amazing player model, great physicality, and nice in the air too, but fairly low acceleration. He should also benefit a lot from the update, as his major weakness, the acceleration, could be offset by his 93 defensive awareness. Number 12. Shevchenko cuts in, goes for the far corner. Shevchenko! That's Shevchenko, ready to finish. Sends him the wrong way. Shevchenko! Andriy Shevchenko. Basically, everything I said about Rummenigge also goes for Shevchenko. There is no additional information, so I'll save your time and head to number 13. Number 13 is Tyrone Mings. He is quite similar to Van Dijk, has an even better player model, which is crazy. More top speed, but is worse in the air. Just like Van Dijk, their 93 defensive awareness will make them challenge incoming through balls a lot better than before the update. Number 14 wasn't quite as lucky as Van Dijk or Mings. It's Upamecano. Many use France in the national team event, so I thought I'd add him. He has 14 leg length, which is crazy good, and an overall fantastic player model. He's very useful in the air and even has nice top speed. However, despite his really amazing other defensive stats, his defensive awareness of 83 is not good and might prevent him from sticking to the attackers to anticipate through balls. This could give other defenders the edge over him. Note that this only goes for this and some of the guaranteed free Upamecanos, not for the player of the week Upamecanos. Number 14 is Robert Lewandowski. He's not a pacey attacker, but an incredibly well finisher both on the ground and in the air. Since his speed is below 80, he'll actually get the bigger boost from the change of the speed curve. Also, obviously, as through passing was nerfed, other ways of attacking are more appreciated, which is what he does best. Number 16, this player. Neymar heads it to Van Nistelrooy. Lets it slip through, beautiful! Double touch shot! Van Nistelrooy! Basically the same thing as Lewandowski. They're both slow raw finishers not relying on through balls, and if through balls are nerfed, players not relying on through balls indirectly benefit. Have I said this before? Van Nistelrooy has very high weak foot accuracy and Lewandowski is a bit better in the air. Those are kind of the differences. Number 17, back to defense. PK. PK has a great player model, amazing defensive stats, is capable physically and in the air, and is also outstanding on the ball and as a passer. His acceleration and speed, however, were not quite top-notch in version 5. Theoretically, you could go for like 87 speed, but that would cost quite a bit of defensive stats. Regardless, his 96 defensive awareness will definitely help him compensate for the average speed, especially against through balls. Number 18, a very similar case. Beckenbauer. Ja, der Kaiser Franz ist das, gell, Kulawik? Like PK, also speed and acceleration way below 90, but also great defensive awareness to make up for it. Number 19. De Bruyne sends Owen all the way. It's Owen with a cheeky chip shot. Michael Owen. And it's Michael Owen. Stays on the ball. Still Owen. Still Owen. Owen! His playstyle is very similar to Rummenigge and Shevchenko. He wants to lurk off the shoulders of the last defender to be ready for the through ball into space, where he then outruns the defender to score. But as I've said roughly 1, 2 or 20 times, through balls are a bit weaker now, so it's at least a bit more demanding as before. Not good for Owen. Number 20 is the last player, Gabriel Batistuta. You know what? We're gonna make this differently this time. You're all smart people. By now you have definitely figured out what type of player Batistuta is and whether he's in a better or worse place after the update and why. And you know what? Anyone who writes it correctly in the comments, anyone, I will give a shout out in my next video. You can of course also suggest other players that should have been in the video as usual. That's it folks, let me know if you liked this video. I'd love if you subscribed, liked, hyped or commented. Until then guys, take it easy. Shaka!